Let's talk about Psycho Slumber here. There's a new book by myself and Phil Diaz and Juan Gedeon. This is an incredible horror action story here. We got 3 covers. These are the crowdfunded campaign books. Check out this Doug Mankey cover here in black and white virgin. This one is my favorite. The book's in color, but just have that rad virgin black and white cover. Here's the fully covered and dressed one here, Psycho Slumber. This is a great one with Krim. He's this character who lives inside of Jazz, this woman. She's this street fighter vigilante, and Krim is her alter ego that lives in her head, and he comes out and attacks people when she gets in a pinch. Then here's the beautiful Rob Willis cover here. Nobody renders quite like him. We did this soft matte cover to it, so it has a nice texture when you feel the book here. This is an action horror story set in the world of both the Kill Journal and the Lost Pages. In both those books, The Lost Pages is a tale about a hobo who has a book with many chapters in it, and those chapters come to life. It's kind of an anthology story. And The Kill Journal, which is an action horror story about a group of survivors who go and hunt down the slashers who took everything from them. And these two worlds mash up. Now, in The Kill Journal, St. George is this mad, crazy preacher who's recruiting these people to kill slashers. And so he's got his book, his Kill Journal, and the hobo has his book of life. So these two worlds, we felt like just needed to collide, where St. George and his team would need help from people from the Lost Pages to hunt down a slasher. And in this one, it's Simon. I love this design here. Here he is with his concrete saw. He invades people's dreams and then cuts them to pieces so whenever they go to sleep. However, there is a duality to him in the real world. And what makes him so tricky is they're now hunting a slasher who lives in both the dream and fantasy world and in the real world, and you have to connect the two pieces. And like with every slasher story, you have to uncover the origin, figure out its weaknesses, and then build a custom trap to kill him. All the while you're dealing with your own trauma, having survived these horror attacks, and you're hunting people and innocent people are getting killed. You're using people as bait. Things are going wrong. It's my favorite kind of horror story where it's chock full of human emotion in the midst of heightened physical action and scares. This is one of my favorite splash pages here. This is when they're in the dream world. They're fighting Simon. This is Jazz and Krim going against him. Look at these beautiful pages here. It's got also all the sexiness that you would expect from a proper slasher story. There's a beautiful pinup that was done by Oliver that really shows the dynamics of these characters. This is what I call a double page kill here. Simon is taking down someone who actually was part of his origin and tortured him and inspired him to be the slasher he has become. He's hunting him down, and these double page kills just make a horror book that much more fun. What I like about this storytelling as well too is there's Krim, who's the big, massive hulking guy, and he's the most frightening guy in the Lost Pages. But the toughest and most frightening guy in the Kill Journal is this dude here, Finch. He's a Mexican kid who grew up on the border, and his dad ran dogfighting pits. He was thrown in there. He had to kill pit bulls since he was 9 years old. So he's the scrawniest guy in the Kill Journal, but the deadliest. And Krim is the biggest and baddest guy in the Lost Pages, and they team up. First, they're against each other, then they work out their differences, and they kind of partner up as a team. And then Marty, who is the bomb maker, trap maker, and all-around bad girl, teams up with Jazz, the street fighter, to handle the problems in the real world. With any good slasher tale, the detective part of it really excites me, where they're trying to figure out how this slasher came to be, the origin of him, and who tortured this slasher to force this evil incarnation to come to life. And I like that about these villains in this story, is there's a bit of empathy, that they were somebody who was maybe misunderstood or misguided and then was tortured by society, and they transformed them into a monster. You can still get this book on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. This is my personal favorite cover here, but we've got the colored full dress, and then this Rob Willis variant cover here. It's a one-shot. You don't need to have read either of these worlds to enjoy this book, but it's a great, fun action horror ride, Psycho Slumber.